Hey guys, Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. It is time for another update here on GavinTube, and that means I'm going to do a couple things. First, I'm going to announce the winner to the challenge that I issued in the last update, and I've got a couple cool prizes that you're eligible to win if you participate in this update's challenge. This has been the most amazing last few weeks since I published the last update. I kicked off the 300 PRC series. You guys have seen a ton of fresh content, including chambering the 300 PRC rifle, my full custom. I'm starting load development, covered quite a few different aspects of putting that rifle together and starting the shooting process. I got a lot more related action there, and I just got back from the most killer trip to Lyman Products in Connecticut and Mark 7 Reloading. As you probably saw, Lyman acquired Mark 7 this year. Very exciting acquisition. It's really a better together kind of proposition, and I'm going to have quite a bit of content coming up related to Lyman and to Mark 7. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications. Okay, the last challenge was, why do you shoot and why do you reload? Share pictures, share your story. There were quite a few good stories, so it was hard to pick, but the winner is Matt Price. Congratulations, Matt. Everybody join me in congratulating Matt because his story was actually quite touching. Yes, we've had quite a few stories that have practically teared me up. Local, law enforcement, military, people really giving back to the community. It's really great to see that kind of thing. This time, the story was a little bit different. Matt lost his father, I believe in his 30s, so, he was kind of young when his father passed on, but his father passed on this legacy of shooting and reloading to Matt. And one of the moments that Matt shared in that Facebook post was he had 50 rounds of ammunition that his dad had reloaded on the equipment that he passed on to Matt. And he took them to the range and just was really thinking of his dad and connecting with his dad with each shot that he fired of this ammunition that his dad had loaded, it's just a real great legacy that Matt's dad shared with him and passed on to him, and hopefully Matt will pass that on to his kids if he has kids. And I can relate to this because I got into metalworking. You can see back here I've got mills, I've got lathes, I've got all sorts of stuff, and I have a real passion for making things. And I got that from my grandfather, who taught me how to run a lathe back in the 80s. And kind of got me really hooked on this whole idea of machines. And that made me want to study mechanical engineering, and here I am. So I think this whole family connection thing is really, really important. And I'd like to just challenge you all to bring the people in your lives into your shooting sports hobby and your reloading hobby. We need to keep these traditions alive. We need people involved in the sports that are going to support the sports and that are going to vote. Very, very critical to what we do. So thank you, Matt. Awesome job sharing your story. And you are going to enjoy the Caldwell Hydro Sled to tame that heavy recoil rifle and get some accurate loads going. And also your inline fabrication Ultimount. You get to pick the mount that you want. So I will contact you on Facebook and we'll get those wheels turning. This challenge for this update is going to involve tools. I just published a video on how you can make your own modified case for Hornady's OAL gauge. This is a great tool that allows you to take the bullet that you're developing a load for and a previously fired case. I used that to create this OAL gauge. Hornady sells these off the shelf for different calibers, and use this rod to push the bullet into the rifling. You can then take measurements with some digital calipers and something like Hornady's bullet comparator set to determine that base to ogive distance that you're going to need to touch the lands. You can then work, into the lands a little bit or off the lands. Usually you're going to start at 5 thousandths off, 10, 20. 20 is a popular number for an overall good reference for a little bit of a tolerance, but then also optimized accuracy. So this is a tool that I highly recommend. I'm using it right now with 300 PRC. That's what I've got right there. And it's going to include the OAL gauge set, either curved or straight, and one modified case from Hornady. So that's a great tool. And then there's also the Lyman 68-piece Master Gunsmith tool set. I will say, I have done a ton of gunsmithing lately, from scope installs to trigger installs, you know, putting actions into rifles, all sorts of stuff. And I always like to keep this specific set on hand. It's the most frequently used set of bits that I have. Why do I like it? Well, you've got a whole bunch of different straight slots. You've got metric and SAE Allen bits, and then you've got star bits, and then you've got Phillips bits, special tools for different 1911, for instance, the bushings for the grips, that kind of thing. You've got a fat handle, you've got an extension, and you've also got a ratchet. So this is a super handy tool to have. You know, I've got this right here at my range, but I would take this to the range if I'm driving somewhere, just in case, because it's going to cover most of the bases. Great tool set from Lyman, and a great oil gauge tool from Hornady, and you can enter to win both. For your chance to win these two tools, here's what I want you to share. What is the one thing that you've done that you didn't know about prior to doing this thing that's helped you increase the quality of your reloads? It could be the reliability of your pistol loads. It could be the accuracy of your rifle loads. It could really be anything. The reliability of hunting ammunition that you've loaded. What's the one thing that you've done that you learned about well along the way in your reloading journey that you'd like to share with other people that you think they should do? It could be something as simple as using a particular type of die. It could be a method of resizing brass. Tell us what you've done to increase the quality of your reloads. In about 3 weeks or so, I will go through the Facebook posts. First link in the video description. Share your story on Facebook, put a lot of pictures in it, tag 2 friends. And in addition to that, if you don't like Facebook, if you don't have Facebook, you can go to my About section here on YouTube. I'll have a link in the video description, and email me your story, email me your pictures. So I'll be picking a winner in a few weeks. I'll be taking a look at what people are sharing and talking to you all and maybe asking you some questions. Have some fun with this, take some great pictures, tag 2 friends, and I wish you all the best of luck in winning this Hornady OAL gauge, a modified case, the caliber of your choosing, and the Lyman 68-piece Master Gunsmith tool set. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications. So much cool stuff coming up. Until next time, happy shooting and happy reloading.